One thing that happens a lot with top quarterbacks is they find that guy for them, right? That someone call it a safety blanket, or though I don't necessarily mean the guy that's the check down and the easy option when nothing else is there, but the guy, hey, it's 3rd and 5. I want to get the ball to this player, right? They have that, and it's not always the best wide receiver on the team or the guy that puts up the biggest numbers. It's just this connection, this comfort level that you have with a guy that hey, I need to find this guy in a big play situation, and that big play might only be 4 yards because I know that I can put the ball where I need to put the ball, and he's going to make the catch. And I feel like Jalen Hurts had that a lot more with Devontae Smith than he did with AJ Brown. That's no knock on AJ. I think Jalen Hurts sort of developed that a lot more last year with Dallas Goedert as well. I mean, what, 11 touchdowns led the league. And hey, call it a early prediction if you want. No idea how things are going to go. Obviously, getting a little more um, time, some more reps right now with the being careful with Devontae Smith at his hamstring and Kai Lemon in his hamstring, and that is um, Wicks. Dontayvion Wicks is seems to be developing a comfort level with Jalen Hurts and vice versa that is nice to see, to the point where ESPN even talked about it a little bit. So I want to play that clip. I got a couple of clips to show you with Hurts and Wicks as well that I think bodes well for the Philadelphia Eagles, because everything I'm hearing about this offense, and I say this every time because I know us, I know Eagles fans, and it's going to be hard to do, but I think we have to, hold it back a little bit, understand there are going to be growing pains. It's going to take time for everyone to get comfortable with the new offense. Hurts yet again with a new offense, and there are going to be some bumps in the road, some ups and downs. But I think this is an offense that can be clicking on all cylinders, hitting on all cylinders, heading into the playoffs, which is what matters most. So, anyway, let's take a quick listen to this. Apologies, had to pause. I just sneezed like 17 times. It's just, that's the way it is with allergies right now. Let's take a
Jeremy,
listen
well, one of the
to
offensive
this.
Jeremy, well, one of the offensive changes that's been reported is the desire for Hurts to play more under center. What's Hurts thinking about that transition this year?
Well, Laura, Hurts feels like he's made great strides in this new offense, particularly with his footwork. He's been honing in on the details there. He says it's all about synchronizing. When his feet are synced up with his eyes when he's taking it from under center and dropping back, he can play freely and drive the ball. I spoke to OC Sean Mannion coming off the field. He said that footwork is one of the very first things that Hurts really dug in on and developed quickly as part of the new offense. That helped him look more at the big picture and figure out every down where the ball's supposed to go. Today, the ball went to Dontayvion Wicks, who's a new receiver that the Eagles are really excited about. Hurts seems to have a good connection with him. They connected down the sideline on a deep pass today. And, with Devontae Smith being out, Kai Lemon out, both short-term hamstring issues, they'll be back. But for now, Wicks is really developing nicely. People around the Eagles are really excited about that player.
Yeah.
That could end up being the steal for the Eagles offense that makes all the difference. And again, don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm a huge Devontae Smith fan. I think he was a number one when AJ was here. But have a little of that pressure taken off of him, to have another guy that can do some different things, I think is huge for the Philadelphia Eagles in terms of the schemes and everything they run. It's going to be huge for Jalen Hurts to have that as well. Now, this one you might have seen. This was actually from, I think this was from earlier in camp, but it just shows a couple of things. Well, one, Jalen getting out to his left and making this type of throw on the run, putting it into, let's face it, we'll call it a dangerous area with a lot of defenders, but only in a place where it's going to be incomplete if it goes over Wick's head, or Wicks is going to make the play. And then you add in the play that Wicks makes, and you have that trust level, that comfort level between these two players to go ahead and make that throw right there. And then this catch, guys, I mean, come on. Really? Yeah, we're gonna look at this again, because this is, I know it's training camp, but he still made this on a live play with what, three guys around him. That is an absolutely insane catch by Wicks right there. And I have one other one to show you, just completely different type of play from Jalen Hurts to Wicks again. Now this is a This is a put it right on the money in tight coverage, tight window. I mean, that's just a great timing. That's a perfect throw right there. That's a perfect throw right there from Jalen Hurts to Wicks running. I don't know what he was running. I'm going to say out just because of the end of the play, but I don't know what he was actually running. But that is, I mean, you put that a little bit to Wicks's inside, and at the very least, it is knocked down. So it's pretty cool to see Jalen Hurts and Wicks developing this kind of chemistry early on in camp. The other thing that I would say, if we want to go back to what ESPN was saying early on uh, in that before they mentioned Wicks, and that is the bit I want to make sure I was quoted. That is the bit with Jalen Hurts under center. From everything that I'm seeing and looking into and hearing, at least right now, they're running Jalen Hurts under center about 75, 80, 85% of the time on these plays. And to be clear, we've talked about it before. Jalen Hurts seems to be very comfortable under center. He hasn't done it a lot, obviously, with a Nick Sirianni style offense in the last few years. So, of course, like they were saying, it's it's going to take a little time to get the timing, to get the footwork, to get all those little things that make huge, huge differences in games for quarterbacks. That's going to take some time. That's going to take some repetition, get that muscle memory going again. But this idea that was put out there by, for me, this we still don't know who these anonymous sources are, but for me, I'm pretty comfortable saying it's a combination of Sirianni and Patullo. This idea that Jalen Hurts wasn't comfortable, that they weren't going under center because Jalen Hurts didn't want to go under center. When you look at what he's done and when you look at his past, even back into college, I think is absurd. I think that was just the type of offense that Nick Sirianni runs. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be helpful for the Eagles to have that sort of mix and match to be able to do different things. To play action when you've got a running game, and man, fingers crossed for me that Sean Mannion gets Tank Bigsby some carries. That two-headed monster of Saquon Barkley and Tank Bigsby. You have a couple of guys like that behind an offensive line that's playing well again. You've got Wicks, you've got Devontae Smith, Mekhi Lemon, Dallas Goedert. Play action pass for the Philadelphia Eagles should be something that absolutely terrifies the entire NFL this season. And of course, you get that at least more effectively under center. Think about that, folks. Even on 1st and 10, taking a shot, but second and with the running game, you have that confidence. 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, taking those shots down the field because you can run play action behind a great offensive line with Saquon Barkley or Tank Bigsby in the backfield. You've got Devontae Smith, you've got Mekhi Lemon, you've got Dontayvion Wicks, you've got Hollywood Brown, you've got Dallas Goedert. That is a nightmare. Y'all can be out there whining and complaining, not Eagles fans, everyone else, about how Jalen Hurts ain't it. But there is not a single head coach out there in the NFL that wants to go against that scenario I just mentioned if the Eagles get comfortable with it. But man, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to y'all later.